is up, my friends? We got lots of people on, man. Thank you guys for joining. Oh, man. Who got my email today, by the way? I know I sent out an email earlier today. Straighten this up a little bit here. Got folks from all over the place. This is cool, man. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Yeah, give this a thumbs up real quick if you guys don't mind. That helps the whole algorithm thing there. My Logify is on. Holy Fire Photography. Mega Todd. Time Prophet. What's up, brother? Acoustic, Rockin' Dave. Dave Prime. Got a lot of my South Florida folks on tonight, man. Cool, cool. Gospel Mark. What's up, dude? Man, all you guys are on. Frank Iowaks. Mike, Blake. Mixed bag of donuts. Cool, man. Got folks from all over. You know, I like to come on and just jam with you guys for a little bit. Definitely going to jam some more here. Lars, what's up, dude? By the way, guys, so yeah, we had the hurricane. Is Ida? I don't even know the name of the hurricane, but it's something. I'm in the Seffner area, Seffner, Florida, Brandon, kind of the overall Tampa area, if you're familiar with that. So we didn't really get anything, man. I mean, we got some rain and some wind and that sort of thing. The birds are in the feeder over there going crazy. We got a dove over there. But, yeah, we've got a little bit of rain. Real quick, let me let you guys say hi to the... We feed feral cats. So you can see two of them over there. That's Mama Cat. And I think that's Mr. Black. Buddy was around. My wife just fed Buddy, but yeah, they're just hanging out over there. Mama Cat, the gray one, we've had her, man, for like 8 or 9 years. She's a feral cat. We can pet her, but she's feral. Mr. Black, he comes in the house every now and then, but that's just random, just kind of showing you guys a little day in the life of Jason here and my wife. So, so Grandpa used to live in Tarpon Springs. Mark, cool, man, cool. So I hope you guys down in South Florida, especially, you know, Fort Myers area and Bradenton and all, I hope you guys made it through okay. I don't think the hurricane really hit, I don't think they really hit our area that much, you know, so I think we're good here, but I know it's hitting, I guess, the Tallahassee area. Once it passed, I haven't really kept up. I'm a native Floridian, so the storms, I'm not saying you shouldn't prepare for them, but they just don't scare me. I'm from Pensacola, Florida, so we had massive storms. Hurricanes used to always hit us like in a massive way there. So after going through that, it's like, okay, another hurricane. Doesn't mean you shouldn't prep and be concerned. But anyway, Holy Fire. So after 10 years of not playing and scrolling through YouTube, came across the page, and now he's playing again. That's good, dude. Yeah, Rusty is okay, man. The funny thing about getting rusty is I get rusty sometimes just if I skip a couple days. And then there's other times I might not play for a couple days and I'm okay. It's very weird. Of course, after years, you know, that's a different story. Lars from Sweden, thanks for jumping on. I know it's late for you, man, so thanks for jumping on. So here's I'm going to play something for you guys real quick, and then we'll get into some Q&A here. Then I'll share the beer I'm having after that. So this consists of like a lot of open strings, chords with open strings. It's definitely not metal. Still got that rock vibe to it though. Actually, that's a tune I wrote. It's not released yet. So, quick update here. The this week I recorded the vocals for Overcometh, which that's not part of Overcometh. Overcometh is definitely a metal album. But I recorded the vocals at Riff with Cliff Studio in Tampa. You guys know Cliff; he's been on the channel several times, and he's the face of Replay Guitar Exchange in Tampa. I know a lot of you have been there, those of you who live in the area, and I've had him on the channel. I filmed there quite often. He's also the guitarist and one of the founding members of a local band called Quasimojo, who's been around for, I mean, well over a decade, maybe even longer than that. So he's got a real nice studio set up in his home, and I'll tell you this real quick, and Dave, I'll get to the training question too here, man. But I was having a hard time recording vocals in my studio because I'm having to sing, but then I have to keep going back and forth to the DAW to stop and, you know, start over and blah blah blah. And it was just, guys, I just couldn't do it. I mean, I did it that way for the Masterpiece album. There are a lot more death metal vocals on the Masterpiece album, but I was having a hard time this time doing that. So I'm like, you know, why don't I try to just go focus on just singing and find someone else to do the engineering side of things. And so he offered to do that. So very grateful, Cliff, if you happen to be on, man. And I'll have him on. We'll explain how we did that too. I'll go shoot a video at his place and just kind of go through the process. But it was such a blessing and help to have him man the studio. And all I had to do was just look pretty and sing. So that was it, man. So we nailed 6 songs. There's one more vocal song, which is got some death vocals in it. I am going to record those in my studio here. After 6 songs, when you're doing 3 takes of everything, including the harmonies, and I don't have a lot of harmonies in this album, but I have some. So after 3 takes of everything, it's like, okay, my voice is just done, man. So I haven't sang at all in the past 2 days, including today, just because I didn't blow it out. But you know, when you're recording and you're singing metal, when you're doing take after take. So yeah, but it was really cool to be able to do that, just to be able to have him manage it. He had me singing through his Mojave MA300 microphone, and of course he's using Pro Tools over there. So anyway, I'm excited because that part's done. I had a photo shoot scheduled for today. That's been postponed to next Wednesday because of the storm. And I wish I could do it sooner, but I've got a super busy schedule coming up, and so does my photographer. So we're going to shoot the video, or not the video, but the photography, and start getting the artwork done. And in the interim, I'll be just finishing up all the little details in the studio and mixing as well. So I really hope by the end of next week, if not middle of the week after, by mid-September, I'll have this in the hands of Nick Z to master the album. And then it will be set up for an October release, guys. So I'm really excited about that. Dave, yeah. So, yeah, keeping the animals fed and safe. Definitely ask me any training questions, dude. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't go to the gym today because it was, you know, they had it closed down, even though it's 24/7. So, but I'm training these days 4 to 5 days a week. I mean, I'm not huge and jacked. You know, I used to be a little bit bigger, but after I had the nerve damage back here, man, that just really, it deteriorated the left side of my body. I had a pinched nerve. I've recovered pretty much for the most part, but I still can't bench press anymore. I can't, like, this arm is so much, this pectoral muscle and the tricep in this arm is so much weaker than my right arm. So I do a lot of dumbbell training. And something I'm also doing, and I wish I would start doing a long time ago, is very controlled reps, almost a negative on every move, because that makes the muscle work harder. I can't lift as much, but I can't lift as much anyway because of the nerve stuff going on. But that's kind of gotten me in a little bit better shape overall, and trying to stay on top of the cardio. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess my heavy day, with the exception of squats, I can still squat pretty heavy, but I'm not trying to break any records or anything like that. I was never super strong, Dave. I was never like powerlifter strong. I wish, you know, I don't want to live in the past, but if I had it to do over again, even though I was a skinny kid and really wasn't built for powerlifting, I wish I'd started powerlifting in my early years instead of doing the typical bodybuilding training, you know. Because I think I would have built a much better and stronger foundation, because I think it's important to do that when you're young. So I would have built a better foundation for the mass and all that, and that would have, you know, a lot of the professional bodybuilders, even the ones that didn't have superior genetics, a lot of them that are huge, well, their foundation was based on powerlifting. You know, even if they weren't super strong, they did it anyway. So, and Dave, you can probably attest to that as well. But I wish I had done that when I was younger. But all that said, though, I was never super strong. I guess strong in my own right, but never like ultra strong. And I just focused on more, I guess, the aesthetics. That's just what side of it that I like. So, training a lot slower, just, you know, slowing the reps down, really feeling the negative, and really just forcing the muscle to work more. So that's what's going on there. Photon, thanks for watching the acoustic solo stuff. I appreciate that, man. By the way, speaking, I've got a video, guys, coming out tomorrow that I can't wait for you to see. I filmed just a short clip of every live solo gig that I had this month of August. And I saved it for the end of the month because I was thinking, well, sometimes I get calls like last minute, and it's possible I could get called tomorrow night, who knows. You know, in that, but I'm going to go ahead and just put it out tomorrow. But I think there's 12 total gigs that I'm sharing with you, and they're just short clips. I'm just telling you, hey, where I'm at and the cool place, and you'll see like a 20-second clip of a different song or whatever. So it was just something I wanted to do, kind of to show you guys what it's like to do these live solo gigs. Some I've got the Martin, some I've got the Takamine, but one thing I've always encouraged you guys to do, and it doesn't matter what your goal is musically, even if you can, I know some of you consider yourself, you're a bedroom guitarist, it's your hobby, and you just enjoy to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course, that's great. But, man, I still encourage you, just get up there and do an open mic, you know, because you meet, you'll see tomorrow's video, because I do host a couple of, 2 open mics a month. So you'll see me talking to some other musicians and such, and it's just a cool atmosphere to be around. And most people at open mic, from what I've heard, and I haven't been to a ton, like the one I host at Bootleggers Brewing, most people are just super cool there, though, because they're there just to hang out and jam and whatever, and nobody's judging anybody. It's like, hey, you know, just get up there and do your best, and you've got a group of people that are going to support you and may even give you some tips and help you, you know, and you meet some cool people. So, you know, MP8, big fan of the first album, Apocalyptic Dreams. Thank you for supporting. And honestly, guys, this is going to be my 5th album. I'm still probably more proud of my first album. I know, like nobody says that. If you ask any artist or band, like, what's your favorite album you've done, they're going to say, oh, this is the one that's out right now, the one that just came out or whatever. And it's not that I'm not proud of my other albums. I am very proud of them, as I achieve different things with them. But the, and I'm sorry, I'm reading the rest of your questions there. The Apocalyptic Dreams still holds a little bit more special place in the heart. Actually, MP8, Apocalyptic Dreams, that should be on Spotify, man. Yeah, and I recorded that with the Pod HD 500, if you can believe that. Yeah, that's all on Spotify. Like, all of my albums are on Spotify. Just look up Jason Stallworth. They're on iTunes. They're on all of those places. So yeah, do check those out. Rockin' Dave, absolutely love playing live. That's why you stream my live gigs. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome that you stream the live gigs, and people get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of gigging. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Dave, because, dude, not everything is perfect. You know, you guys know on some of my videos, sometimes if I screw up, like giving a lesson or whatever, and I'll just put it in there anyway, just to show you guys that I don't want to be one of those people that I'm just going to wait till I get everything perfect and then put it out there and everybody thinks I'm something that I'm not. Look, man, even the best of guitar players, which that's very subjective, but even the best of them, I would say even Satriani, you know, it probably messes up from time to time. I think it's just the way you recover from those mistakes, you know what I mean? So yeah, I admire you, Dave, Rockin' Dave, for doing that, man. For just, you know, I like the fact that you're live streaming them. I might start doing that too. I'd like to do that. I might do that, like if I had a separate channel or something, because you're going to get demonetized on that, you know, playing cover songs and all. And I'm starting to play more original stuff, guys. I've been, over the past couple of years and really throughout my life, I've written a lot of acoustic driven stuff. So the next album, after I get this thing out, I'm probably going to immediately start working on recording the songs that I've written that are more, I don't want to say they're all acoustic, but There will be acoustic on just about all of them, all the songs, but they'll be more kind of rock driven. I don't want to say blues. I'm not really a blues player, but more rock driven, kind of like, I don't know, Brian Adams meets Don Henley meets the Outfield. And then I played a tune earlier. Some of you guys said it sounded like Three Doors Down or Stained or something like that. So I guess with my vocals not being as high as the '80s singers, it might come across. I don't know what it's going to sound like. I never go for a specific sound when I write music, and honestly, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it at all. I recommend just going after your sound. Creating your own sound. Fabian plays bass with distortion and get a kick out of it. Is it possible to mix a song without sounding bad? It is possible to mix it in a song without sounding. Yeah, distortion on bass sounds great, man. I mean, especially with metal, dude. Distortion. I love distortion on bass. That's really. It just gives it, if you got the right amount, the right type, it just gives it that growl. You listen to the bass tracks on my album Masterpiece. Of course, you'll hear pretty much that same bass sound that I'm using on this album, Overcometh. I've got to touch up the bass tracks on some songs. I'm planning to do that probably tomorrow. But yeah, I've got a little grit on that thing, and it just the thing about bass, I'll kick the mids up if I add distortion, and I'll bring the actual bass on the EQ down some, and it just gives it that really, really cool growl. It's just kind of nasty sounding, but at the same time, it's got clarity to it, if that makes sense. So it's pretty cool, man. Karim, thanks for the awesome videos. Beginner learning a lot. Awesome, man. Thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate that. Dave says, rock out the originals. Yeah, it's funny playing live solo gigs, and sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. I'll want to play a original, but I see the crowd out there, and they just got into the last song I played by the Outfield or whatever, because I play all '80s stuff at my gigs, and I'm always amazed at, because I'll do some B-side tracks. I'm always amazed at what people actually know. I'm like, how do you know this song? And it's one of my favorites. I play some hits from the '80s, a lot of hits, but I also play, again, a lot of deep cuts too. And I'm like, well, if I play one of my original songs, people are just going to go take a bathroom break or something. I used to make a joke, all right, guys, this is an original. Don't get up and go to the bathroom. This isn't bathroom break time. I want you to hear this. But that's in my own head, you know what I mean, that people aren't going to like my music. I think that if people like you and they like your performance, they're going to like most of everything you do. And a lot of that is connecting with people in the audience, but in a way that's not always overbearing. I'll tell you this tip, and I was talking to somebody today about this, and then I'll share what beer I'm drinking. It's a local brew. It's really good. One tip is that when you're playing live solo gigs, cover songs, mainly cover songs, if the audience isn't really getting into it, if they seem like they're not getting into it, just know that that's okay. It doesn't mean you're performing bad. Okay, if you're performing bad, the place isn't going to call you back, because that word spreads like wildfire. I've had venue owners tell me they have not called many people back because it wasn't the right fit. Let's just leave it at that. And then one venue owner said, or manager, she said that they had to ask somebody to leave one time because their customers were leaving because the person was so bad. So, if you suck, you're not going to get called back. But if they keep calling you back and you keep getting those gigs, then, well, you're doing something right. So don't worry that people aren't necessarily getting into it. A lot of times people come to a venue to eat, to drink, to hang out with their friends, and they just want to have the conversation. They enjoy the fact that there's music going on, but you are background. So this is the thing I explain to people if they get discouraged, like, well, they're just not getting into it. Doesn't mean they don't like it, guys. So the worst thing you can do is, if the audience isn't really getting into it, the absolute worst thing that you can do is turn your volume up and try to force them to get into it. All that will do, guys, it will annoy the crap out of them. So just be careful with that sort of stuff, Guys, I got to give a shout out to the great Dale L. Roberts. He's a moderator too. He's one of my close friends. Dale, it's good to see you on here, man. Thanks for showing up. Him and I kind of look alike because we're both bald. Great minds either think alike, or people that are bald just lose hair. I don't know. The gospel art, less than '80s. Yeah, I love my '80s, man. Dave saw the video where I went to the music store, the Black Star. Too bad about the Line 6 pod. So I was talking to you guys about the Line 6 pod Go. It overheated on me a couple of times at one very specific venue. I don't want to stop using it though, because I've been using it for over 3 years now. And it's a great unit because I've got my acoustic sounds and my electric guitar sounds. You guys know I'll loop an acoustic rhythm, pick up the electric, and solo over it. A lot of my YouTube shorts, that's what I'm doing. But it's such, I don't really want to change it up. I talked about it. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So it hasn't given me problems lately, but I think it's just overheated a couple times. It's a digital unit, and the Pod Go is not built like the Helix. Now, my good friend just got the Helix. And the reason I'm leaning towards Line 6 for stuff like this, as opposed to the Black Star unit that I have, you guys know I have the Amp 3, the more I thought about it, is because things like the Helix, well, it's an all-in-one. I can program my acoustic sounds there and get good acoustic, and I can also have electric sounds, so it's just one unit. One of my goals, being a solo performer, is to minimize the stuff I have to bring and the amount of things that can go wrong. So, that's just kind of my thinking on that. Milf Hunter says good cover bands are very successful and often have real studio pros that you've heard on albums. Yeah, a lot of bands play good cover. I've heard some great cover bands, but what I'm doing specifically isn't a band though. I'm a solo guy. We're doing solo gigs. I'm doing solo gigs up there. My wife, she'll sing with me on some songs too. But yeah, I think a lot of great musicians will get into a cover band. I would like to start something here, but I don't want to start a cover band here. I don't really have any interest in. I don't mind doing the solo gigs, doing cover songs, but I don't necessarily want to play in a band that plays covers. When I'm doing solo gigs, I can learn the song my way, and I always change it up a little bit, and it's more of a rendition than a cover. So, whereas when you're in a band, you kind of it's a little bit more complicated. So, the band that I want to start here in Tampa, I want it to be an original band. The conversation's in the works, so more to come on that later. Rampton, why don't I use an in-ear system? I was wondering how you can hear your backing track. I don't play the backing tracks, brother. I don't do any backing tracks at all. I loop a rhythm. I'll play acoustic. I'll play something like, and I'll click the button to loop that, and so it'll record it, and I'll play some lead over the top of that. So that's kind of, and sometimes I'll pick up the electric and then change patches on the Pod Go to the electric sound while the acoustic's playing in the loop. And I've become kind of known for that around town. So I'm kind of proud of that because I play, I do a lot of solo, guitar solos as well. And I don't overdo it. I'll pull out the electric maybe once a set for about 3 to 5 minutes. So I don't give them too much, just a taste, it's like, you just sprinkle a little bit of whipped cream or sugar or whatever, right? Just a little bit. So, but I thought about inner systems. A lot of times I'll either bring my floor monitor, like an Electro Voice. You guys know I got sponsored by Electro Voice this year, which is awesome. But the gigs where I'm not plugging into the house system, because there are a few places I play that have the house system I plug into, I'm bringing the Electro Voice Evolve 50M, which I've got a video on that. Again, I got a sponsorship earlier this year, which I'm very grateful for. Ronnie Ridge, thanks. I've learned a lot from the channel. Thank you, Ronnie Rage. I pronounced it wrong. I was trying to read it Ronnie Ridge, but it's Ronnie Rage. That's a cool name, dude. Giving Dale some love there. Yeah, Dave, you're right, Rockin' Dave. We're background music a lot of times, but they're still listening. You know what I mean? And again, not every gig is like that. There are some gigs I play at. Every gig is different, guys. And you can play the same place every week or every month or whatever, and those gigs will still be different. It's just you just kind of got to go with that flow. What I'm saying is you don't want to force anything on people. Yeah, they like to sing along with songs they know, and that's fine. Most people do that, but you mentioned Milf Hunter, when people are drinking, they like to sing along. Yes, I play at breweries and wineries, but I don't really play at bars. And guys, nothing wrong with playing at bars. That's play where you want to play at. A lot of the bars around here, they want country and southern rock, and I don't play any of that. I play mainly 80s rock and even some 80s pop. I'm learning that song, Damn, I Wish I Was Your Lover. And I even play stuff like that. I even have a Taylor Dane song that I do, right? So, and then I might do an Iron Maiden cover every now and then too. I've got some Poison, Bon Jovi. I'm kind of all over the place, but it's mainly 80s rock and pop. So that's probably not going to go over well at most like dive bars, or not, I don't want to say they're all dive bars, but the Bud Light, Miller Lite bars. I'm playing it more like wineries and craft beer places and craft beer breweries and places like that, and I play some events as well. And I'm real fortunate because a lot of the places I play at, I play like they're, at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. Some of the places I play, like I think 3 places I play twice a month. So there's 6 gigs right there, you know, and a couple that I play, the couple that I play once a month, and then I get called some other stuff too. So Daniel Grant likes medieval music. Medieval music is good stuff, man. I like some medieval stuff too. So Mark, your buddy ditched the Pod Go and went analog. Yeah, I mean, again, I've been thinking about that. Because I was wondering if the Helix, if it might have the same problem since it is digital, So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna. The thing I like about the amped products from Blackstar is that's an analog pedal. So, but then I've got to get something for acoustic, so I need 2 separate units, and that was kind of the beauty of the Pod. So I don't know. I'm gonna play around with it. I'm gonna just play around and see what we come up with here. Daniel, I love original music as well, man. I like to hear bands play their original stuff. If I never ask for requests because I do so many 80s deep cuts that I think people like, okay, I don't want to request anything because he's playing stuff I kind of know, but I don't know. And I'll get requests sometimes, but if I'm at a venue and someone else is playing and they happen to ask the audience, are there any requests? I will request an original. I was like, you know what? Play anything that you wrote, and people love that, man. I've had people say, dude, thank you so much for requesting that, because people just don't request original music, so I make a point to do that. So Rogelio likes the heavy chug. Should you always use a heavy chug distortion instead of just on the electric with no amp? I don't really use a heavy chug sound anyway. I mean, a lot of times less gain will give you a little bit more clarity, and that's why a lot of people use that booster pedal in front of the amp to tighten things up a little bit. Rockin' Dave uses inner system with tracks and it works fine. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't play any backing tracks, but I'd like to. Thing about it is, with the solo gigs, it's just me and my wife, so I didn't really want to spend the money on in-ears. Now with a band, Dave, because I believe you're with the band, so that I'll look into getting in-ears when we get to, when we start doing that. Yeah, the wineries are great. The wineries are awesome to play at, man. People are so cool at those places. I mean, I'm very fortunate everywhere I play. There are things I just love about every place I play. So I give a shout out to the local beer I'm drinking. It is called the Other West Coast here, and that's a local brewery. The brewery is called Escape Brewing, and they are a Florida-based brewery. And I'm not sure. It's an IPA. I'm not sure where they're from. 7.1% IPA. Handcrafted ales in Florida. Wesley Chapel. Okay, so they're based out of Wesley Chapel, which is a little north of Tampa. No hurricane here. No hurricane. Somebody's asked about the hurricane. We got some heavy rain early this morning, and that was really about it. I don't want to say this, but we kind of live in a magic bubble here in the Seffner area. We never really get hit that bad. I think one hurricane back in 2017, we lost power for like 10 minutes and it came back on, so we continued Netflix at that point, Daniel Grant likes some video game music too. Now, I like the Legend of Zelda music and Ultima, the role-playing games back in the day, Dragon Warrior. They had some cool tunes with that. MV8 says, The Healing, best 80s instrumental metal ballads. Thank you, man. MP8. So the song called The Healing, If you like that song, I think you'll also like, there's a song sort of like it called Destination Afar on the new album that's coming up. So Overcometh has something very similar to that. It's almost like the Healing Part 2. I almost named it the Healing Part 2, and I may decide to do that. I don't know. We'll see. You just gave me an idea, so I think you'll dig that too. Because I like putting stuff like that. I'm not a, as much as I love metal, and I absolutely love metal, I I had to have something different than just the dun, 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 dun all the time, And I can sit there and listen to Cannibal Corpse, through a leg workout or something like that. But to listen to that all the time, all day, I just need different, I guess, different flavors and variety. So, which is why I play acoustic almost as much as I play electric these days. Now, I've had an electric in my hand all day today because I was filming videos for you guys. I've got a cool lesson video coming out on a lead on Saturday. On that note, I am trying to I don't know how many of you are on my Patreon. Basically, what I do on Patreon, and I'm not trying to sell you on this if you guys don't want it. That's perfectly fine if you're not on there. But I keep it at the 1 tier level. I think it's like $4 or $5 a month. But what I do is I promise at least 2 tabs and tracks for 2 lessons each month. What I'm wanting to do, and I'm not promising this, but I'm starting to do it. I'm gonna try to under promise and over deliver. I want to put out a video every Saturday. I've been looking for someone to help me with the Guitar Pro because that's where I get kind of hung up. It just takes me a while to put what I'm playing into Guitar Pro and do all that stuff. So I might actually hire someone to do that for me. So if anybody's interested, I know I put something out there the other day, but for the most part they're going to be short lessons. But I want to put those out on a weekly basis instead of just 2 or 3 times a month. So that's coming up. I just want to give that update. If you're not on Patreon with me, and I'm not increasing the Patreon price, even though I'm giving more, I'm still just going to leave it at the same tier level. That's, but yeah, just look my name up on Patreon. I pop up, so you'll see it. Notorious, thank you. Thank you for watching. Mike Deroff, thanks for watching, man. Thank you guys. Dave, so you're using the cheap Boss GT1 over a year at my outdoor gigs in Florida, and it's been working great. Secret is how you EQ it. Now, as far as EQ goes, I love how my Podgo sounds. Man, I love the way I actually bought an acoustic patch from a thing called Worship Tutorials. I think they have a YouTube channel, and I think their website's worshiptutorials.com. They create all these patches and sell them, and they're cheap. I mean, I think it's $4 or $5 for the patch. It was well worth it for me. And I got there, and all it is just some EQ and compression settings and all for acoustic. Because the Podgo doesn't really have an acoustic sound, so you just have to make it yourself with, man, I got a fly in my beer. He's going to be a very drunk fly from a 7.1%. Well, where'd he go, guys? Okay, he's gone. He must have flew off. Anyway, and I guess the alcohol in the beer will kill any germs. But yeah, the Podgo sounds great. It's really just those 2 instances where I think it overheated at the very end of the gig, and I tried to pinpoint, I tried to see if it was something else, like maybe the wireless or anything, but but anyway, Tommy, good question, man. Do I do music full time or have a regular job? Dude, I left my regular job back in 2020. I'm very happy to say that, and extremely grateful. I love Dale down here. He's like, oh man, I can't see Jason in a day job anymore. No, you really couldn't, dude. And Dale's a full-time author. By the way, Dale, real quick, he owns the company called Self-Publishing with Dale. He's got a YouTube channel, short story on how him and I met, Dale L. Roberts down there. So I was looking to publish a book. You guys know I published my first book, Heavy Metal and Weights. It's on Amazon, exclusively on Amazon. You can buy the paperback or Kindle or whatever. And I was just looking for some tips on how to do that. We go to YouTube when we learned how to do something. A lot of you guys are here because you were searching for something. Hey, power chords, power slides, whatever. And thank you. I'm grateful all of you are here. But I was looking for something, and of course, he answered my question, but he saw as a guitar player, my pick has the guitar in my hand, and so, because he plays guitar as well, which I'm waiting for him to do some guitar stuff I think that's coming up. Anyway, we met, and we've just been really close ever since. We need a mastermind session soon, Dale. We're always bouncing stuff off one another, but he is extremely good friend and very proficient at what he does. Him and his wife both are entrepreneurs, so I admire that. And it's people like him, it really gave me the inspiration to just take the leap. If you've got something you're going for, I was, I'll tell the detailed version of this on YouTube one day, but I wasn't really ready to jump financially. I did it anyway. I'm like, I'm tired. I've been trying to be on my own and do this entrepreneur thing since 2010. So there came an opportunity for me to volunteer to get laid off. I told my boss, if we're doing cuts this year, I told her in 2019, I'm like, if we do cuts this next year, can you please sign me up for those cuts? And they're like, huh? You want to lose your job? Most people want to keep it, I'm like, no, it's time. I'm ready. I work for a very large corporation. I have nothing negative to say about the corporation I worked for. I worked for Citigroup. I have nothing negative to say. I met so many cool people, and many of the people I keep in touch with today. We have friends that come see our gigs even, and a lot of people I still keep in touch with. So I'm very grateful for that experience. And I got to meet people from all over the world. I got to, I was in a leadership position there. I wasn't like an executive or anything like that, but I had a notable title, I was a vice president. I wasn't the vice president. That's a level, But anyway, so I had a small team in Mumbai, India, and Manila, the Philippines, and Costa Rica, and I got to just meet people from all over the place and learn about different cultures. So it was a really cool experience. But all that said, yeah, Tommy, I left my job in 2020 to take a chance, and I never looked back, man. And the one thing that I learned from that experience is that if you really want to do something with your life, you just got to do it. I mean, like, you can't, if you sit here and weigh everything out and well, should I do this, or maybe I'll just wait until I get to here before you just got to go out there and do it. For me, and this might be bad advice, I found that I needed to put my back against the wall and make that my only option. Like, I have no option. It is sink or swim. And some of you might be better at planning things out. It's like, okay, I'm going to have a method here. But I had a method, but I was just tired. I'm like, no, I am going to, I'm just going to do it. And here we are, guys. So still making it. I'm not a millionaire or anything like that. And hey, I'd like to be. I aim to be a multimillionaire. There's nothing wrong with wanting to earn a living, a good living, and be able to invest and to help folks and that sort of thing. But we pay the bills and then some, and we're able to do, we have the freedom, which is, I can't really put a price tag on that. My wife and I, on a Thursday, we're gonna go to another side of town to eat at an Indian buffet. And I don't have to worry about, I need to be back to log back into the system, by 12 o'clock or whatever. We can take as much time as we want. Now, of course, that I'm going to work tomorrow morning and tomorrow night and all that, whatever, Technically, I'm working right now, so I'm working for you guys. You guys are all my bosses now. I traded my 8 corporate bosses for, I think, 75,000 of you guys now. You're my boss. Which, by the way, we hit 75,000 subs this week, so thank you guys. I am really hoping to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. I know that's a push, but let's push, man. Remember I said you got to put the back against the wall and you just go for it. So thank you guys so much for helping us get, this is your channel too. This isn't just my channel. This is, I consider this more of a community than, it's not really all about me. You guys know every lesson I give, I try to, I really try to encourage you guys to find your own sound and develop your own style. So this is just as much your channel as it is mine. But Dale's getting back to the hand-eye coordination. Yeah, it'll come back. It'll come back fast. And thanks for the book plug there, man. Appreciate that. Dale put the link out there to Heavy Metal and Weights. Colin, the great question. Colin's asking, in the live performance environment, how important are the pickup's output and resistance? I honestly don't feel that it's that important at all, to be honest. Playing live, so now when I play my electric, so my acoustic, obviously this is, active pickups, all acoustics, when you plug them in. And the pickups do matter in acoustics because it's gonna, resonate a certain sound. This guitar, listen to this. It's very just full bodied. I don't know if the camera does it justice. Very full bodied, so that, and the pickups are, I think they're Fishman pickups in here, so they resonate pretty good. For electric, for again, and I want to make this clear. So the reason I play electric at my solo gigs, it's just me solo, right? Is I'll loop an acoustic rhythm on stage. I'll loop a live rhythm. I'll play something, like I'll play, and I'll loop that so it'll be playing. Then I'll grab my electric guitar and play some solos over that. So I'm playing a Telecaster with passive pickups, right? And both single coil pickups, and it works just fine. Now, those pickups in the Tele, and I've got a video on it. I think it's called "I Finally Bought This Guitar," and this is the Tele. I bought it from a friend of mine, I think about a year. I can't remember how long it was, and I like that guitar. I never considered myself a Tele player, but I like this guitar, and it's perfect for this type of gig, my solo gigs, and just playing some leads over the acoustic rhythms. So yeah, I don't think pickups matter that much. I think it's just more of the amp you're playing through and that sort of thing. So going back to the Pod Go, I was using that Pod Go with a full band. My buddy Brian from the Southern Creek, I sat in with him for a gig. Everybody's got, the bass player's got his bass amp up there, and Brian, he had his, I think he had a Mesa amp. We're not playing metal, he plays like country Southern rock, and I'm just kind of playing some fills along the way. So I got a video out there on that, playing the Pod Go with a full band, live with a full band, and you could hear the Pod Go, but it did kind of, everything else really drown that thing out. So what I'll say to that is, if your band is going to play digital, make sure everybody's playing digital. Like if you're playing through a Helix, make sure everybody's playing through the Helix. If you're playing with amps, then probably everybody should play through amps so that it's even, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Let me catch up, guys. So that's my take on pickups as far as performance goes. Yeah, Daniel, I like to show people. Thank you, Dale. Thank you for the other plug there, man. I genuinely want to see people do well in life. I'm not one of those people that, because there are plenty of guitar players. I mean, I consider myself an accomplished musician. I write my own music. I've got albums out there. People pay me to play places, So, but I also realize that I'm not. There are guitar players. There are plenty of guitar players that are better than me, and of course, better's always subjective. But I'm not really out to put myself out there as much as I want to see other people do well. So if someone's better than me, well, that's awesome. I'm happy that they're better than me. I mean, they've worked hard for that talent, right? If someone makes more money than I do and they're succeeding in life, I'm not jealous of that. I'm happy, and I want to pass that along as I find things. If I can share mistakes I've made so you guys don't make them, and if I can pass on some advice to help you, because I believe if people are doing what they want to do with their life, and they're pursuing something great, pursuing something they feel that's worthy of being pursued, and they're doing well in life, the more people doing that, I think the world's a better place, guys. When you're not happy with your life, when you're not pursuing the things you really want to pursue, right, and you feel like you're being held back, well, that's when people start making bad judgments, bad decisions, and then, there you go. So I really want to see people do well, even if they do better than I do. Hey, if I can have a part in that, that's awesome, my reward might just be at the end of the tunnel for that, and that's fine too, Clarence, do I recommend becoming a YouTuber for the average musician? Does it help a lot? The thing about YouTube, and I was talking to someone about this earlier today, had a meeting with someone about another potential partnership that I might be doing, but I think everybody should have some sort of platform. It might be YouTube, it might not be, I think YouTube's great because I like doing stuff like this, but you could have this on any other platform as well, right? I prefer YouTube personally, but I think everybody, if there's something that you want to do with your life, I think putting it out there and sharing your journey with people I think that's an awesome thing to do. And this way you can share things as you learn them, and that helps others along the way. So I don't really think it matters, Clarence, if you're average, great, or just starting out. Just put your journey out there, man, and allow yourself to grow with that. Kind of goes back to what I was talking about, quitting my job, leaving my job to do this. I could have said, well, I better wait until I'm a little bit better at this entrepreneur thing before I leave. I could have waited and waited and waited, and the problem with waiting is you're always going to find an excuse not to start. So, Clarence, it sounds like you're ready to start. So I say, put it out there, man. And what I'll say to that is also be you. Mega Todd, yes, man, we need 100K subs by the end of the year, man. If you guys can get that for me by the end of November, it'd be even better. By the way, I've got some real awesome footage, some videos. I'll be filming some guitar videos in another country in November, so that's going to be cool. You guys are going to enjoy that. Rogiello says, what's the reason why you don't like or don't really use drop D? I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't really have a reason, dude. I never really down-tuned or drop-tuned. I just never really enjoyed it, Notes are just notes to me. I do have a 7-string guitar, but I'm not really overly obsessed with lower notes. It's just not my thing, man. I don't really, and the drop D, I like playing those power chords. I don't really like the barred chord thing when you're playing drop D. It's just a preference. I'm glad that people play in drop D. I'm not saying people shouldn't. I love the fact that people down tune and do all this other stuff, because it's part of what makes you you. But I just don't care for it. I just personally don't care for it. I stay in standard tuning most of the time. Like I love the key of C sharp minor, right? So I'll play a lot of stuff. I've got songs in C sharp minor and F sharp on my new album. It's not the typical everything's in E minor, right? Or not everything has to be the lowest note possible. That's another problem when people drop tune. They chug on the lowest note possible, and every song sounds the same. Like, how many albums have you listened to where every song starts in the same exact key and it's just kind of all the same, So I really aim to venture out. Like, I like C sharp minor, so instead of drop tuning, I'll play it down here. And I can leave those last 2 strings open. Now I know I'm playing acoustic, but again, one of the songs that I wrote, there's one part that goes like this. So C sharp minor, F sharp minor. That I just played one of the new songs off the Overcometh album for you on acoustic. No Megatod, no TPS reports. I used to send that to people. Hey, I need those TPS reports by Saturday, and you have to come in. I love Office Space. If you work in an office, have not watched Office Space, oh my God, it's like a requirement. You must do that. What Taylor Dane song do I play? My voice is wrecked from recording vocals on Monday still, so I'm recovering that. But Tell It to My Heart is what I play on stage at my live solo gigs. Megatod, I wasn't much for Telly either, man. I like Telly. This doesn't look metal. Why would I want a Telly? And but I started playing this one, and again, everything is for a specific application. I play my Ibanez upstairs in the studio for metal. I've got a 7-string for that style. I've got my acoustic for when I play acoustic. I've got the Telly for the live solo gigs. So I'm playing leads. Actually, I like playing the Telly at my live solo gigs better than my Ibanez, even though overall I like my Ibanez better. So it's just the different applications that you use instruments for. Oh yeah, we love some Taylor Dane, man. Thank you, Eugenio, appreciate you, man. Daniel just plays for the lady and the cat. Hey, that's a good thing to do, man. Malik's asking for songs to learn. Well, I mean, yeah, I could share songs that you can learn. I'm not big on showing people how to play stuff because then that means I got to learn it, and I just don't have the time to learn other people's music. And I play the cover gigs, but I just I'll listen to cover songs I play on acoustic if that's what you're talking about. If you're talking about electric, now I don't play any covers at all, but on my acoustic shows, I play acoustic, and I'll listen to the song like once or twice sometimes. I'm like, okay, it's in that progression. I'm going to change it and I'm going to do it my way. And I just run with it. So I never really like fully learn a song. I just hear enough of it to know what I want to do with it, if that makes sense. And I don't like, I've said this before on videos, I would rather someone give me their rendition of something. What does it sound like when you put your own style to it? Because if I wanted to hear the song exactly like the way the band does it or the artist does it, well, I just listen to it on iTunes, right? I don't really care to hear the band or the artist to do the song exactly like they did it. And that's just a preference, I want to hear what's coming out of people. Ocean Bleed asks, where's Gunner? That's a good question. Where has Gunner been? I've got something coming up with Gunner, guys, so stay tuned for that. Ron, thank you for the sub, dude. Appreciate you, man. Dale, we're going to get together and show me why open tuning is better than, I'll show you some killer chords that change. Lazy, single finger chord. Cool. Yeah, we do need to get together soon, Dale, for sure, man. Colin, thank you for that. That's awesome to hear about what I'm using too. I can't show you guys because it's on the tripod. It's the Rode NTG video mic NTG. I need to do a video on that. And guys, I see my good buddy that I haven't seen in a long time, Mr. John Cannon. John, did you change your name to Jonathan? Beers, dude. I miss some John Cannon. So, quick story behind the Jonathan Cannon that just popped in. Me and him and I used to play in a band together. We actually played in a church band. And I almost don't want to say church band because then some people immediately think, oh, that's easy or that's choir music or whatever. No, we played rock and roll, man. And John Cannon is a very notable bass player. The dude is a monster on bass. John, I hope you're still playing bass. So, but he's a great musician, a great vocalist as well. So I hope you're still in the music scene, man. But yeah, we played together for, I don't know how many years. It had to have been at least like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years or something like that. Maybe more than that. I'm not sure. But yeah, we jammed together quite a bit back in the day. It's been a while. It's been about almost a decade. So yeah. MC waited for this live chat to start to open up an IPA. Cheers. Yeah, once again, guys, this is the other West Coast. That's the name of the beer. It's an IPA. It's about 7%, and it's brewed by Escape Brewing, made by Escape Brewing here in Florida. They're based out of Wesley Chapel. So, yep, good brew too, man. It's a little muggy out here, so it's I gotta hurry up and drink this because it's starting to get warm. We're not in England. We don't drink warm beer. Yeah, Eugenio, John 5 plays a telly. I haven't really listened to much John 5, but I know a couple of guys, that play telly, that play metal. I mean, I'm a believer you can play any style on anything. It's just, do you like that guitar for that application, Like, I love playing this guitar, man. This guitar is beautiful. I'd like to get the action lowered just a little bit more on here. I got it lowered once. But it's, by the way, it's a Martin. It's a Martin GPC 13E. And it's super light. This thing is like ultra light. You guys probably can't see it, but there's a tuner. See that little green dot down there, guys? That's a tuner inside the guitar. So you guys can't see it in detail there, but you can tune your guitar. And when you press that button to turn the tuner on, it cuts the signal. So if you're plugged in on stage and you want to tune your guitar, you can press it and you tune your guitar and it cuts the signal. So it's really, man, it's a nice guitar, very nice guitar. And this isn't one of their super high-end. I think this thing cost me like about $1,500-$1,600, which to me that's a lot of money. I bought it at Replay Guitar Exchange in Tampa. But you guys know, like Martins and Taylors, you can get up there paying $3,000 and $5,000 and 5 grand and more than that. So anyway, this played better than some of the $5,000 guitars. You guys know how that goes, man. Sometimes, you know, it's like the whole Les Paul situation. I played plenty of Les Pauls, but they just weren't worth 5 grand to me. You know, it's like, why? It just doesn't do it for me, you know. And it just all comes down to what you want and preference and all that. So, well, like my Ibanez RG 1570 Prestige, I think it was probably around $1 grand back in its time. I think it's a 2001 model, so not ultra expensive, and it plays better than a lot of the, you know, $2,000 and $3,000 electric guitars I've played too, and especially a lot better than the the Les Pauls, man. So John, you yeah, Gospel Mark, there's something about heavy music on the single coils. You get a different sound, man. So John says, it's always been Jonathan. Jonathan's with Prestige. Yeah, he says he's passable on bass. No, yeah, John he actually was really good on bass. He had some really good runs and was solid. You know, bass player that's solid, that can hold that bottom end and just, it makes a big difference in music. You know, he wasn't just a like boom boom guy. You know, he actually played. But yes, dude, you need to get back to it. I hope this little chat encourages you to get back to playing, man. That's a talent that you don't want to lose. The fallen slave, assault, the fallen. I'm sorry, dude, I'm bad about reading the names because everything's together. But you change the battery back here on the acoustic. It's got like a little. It's just got a little component. Now, one thing I will tell you about this specific guitar, I have to change the battery quite often. So that's something to note. I don't know if all Martins are like that, and I don't know if it has to do with pickups. Like I play my Takamine, probably not quite as much, but the Takamine I can get by changing the battery about every 6 months. Now keep in mind, I play live gigs, guys, 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week, man. I got another week coming up next week. I think I've got 3 gigs in a row, but 4 total that week. So I'm playing out quite a bit, and the gigs are from 3 to 4 hours. A lot of them are 4 hours these days. So, and the guitar's plugged in the whole time. Even when I take a break, I don't, you know, I just leave it plugged in. But the breaks are only like 10 or 15 minutes anyway, so it's not going to be a substantial loss. But this one, especially during the summertime, the heat does. I mean, I know this kind of, most people know this, but the heat does impact the battery. So, short story. This past weekend, I was playing at Fenn's Dockside in Apollo Beach. Beautiful, beautiful place. You guys will see that in the video on my 12 gigs for the month video I put out tomorrow. Awesome place, beautiful place. So, well, my battery died. Well, I'm like, crap, seriously? I just replaced the battery like probably 2 months ago, you know, and maybe not even. And I had another battery in my bag, in my soundboard bag. Well, that bag is, you know, out with all my other gear. So it's sitting in the heat out there too. Brand new battery. Well, I pop it in, dead. So I knew my buddy was coming up to listen to the gig, and I'm like, dude, can you stop by the store and bring me a battery? So he did, and it worked fine. So, man, you know, batteries and heat just do not they do not mix very well, as most of us all know. I think that's another reason why when it comes to electric guitars, I prefer passive pickups, because I never have to worry about that. And that's never been an issue for me anyway. But I mean, could you imagine just being on tour with the band or playing out, and you just kind of forget about stuff like that, you know? And then you're in the middle of a song and it cuts, you know? It's like, okay, that's not good. And then you got to go find a battery because you don't have one, or you've had it in the bag that's been in the heat with all the other gear, and it doesn't work. So anyway, so anybody have any tips on that? I'm more than willing to listen, guys. Yeah, Eugenio, it's the Martin does sound good, man. Yeah, Dave, never wait for better, because it will never happen. Just be wise when going all in. Yeah, good point. Be wise when going all in. You do need to have a plan, and what I found that you have to have if you're working for yourself, whether it's doing gigs or anything, you have to have an immense amount of discipline and persistence, and that willing to not let yourself get down or get frustrated, and just don't get emotional about mistakes that you'll make, because you will make them, and just don't allow yourself to get into the frustrations or get emotional about things or get down. You have to keep your mind sharp, and you just have to kind of live above everything else. You have to live above circumstance, because the circumstance, that's always going to be there, good and bad. So when you learn to just kind of block everything out, it's like, you know what, you have to have laser focus. And any of you guys that work for yourself or play full-time music, hey, I'm sure you can attest, but you've got to be focused on what you're doing. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't be like, well, I tried this 3 times, it's not working, I guess it's not meant to be. That does not exist. So you just have to know that you are going to push through until you make it happen, right? Or until the next phase. So the FTM, thanks for the gig videos. I'm so glad, guys, you're watching the gig videos too. I was a little worried about that on my channel. The FTM 22 says she's a singer and pianist. Being female makes it even more challenging. I don't know, in Florida, man, I know a lot of girls that are gigging out, and they do really well. But I don't know what it's like in your area. But yeah, playing piano, I guess you're setting up your keyboard and all that. But just go into it, FTM. Get out there and just do it. You'll be surprised. I live in the Tampa Bay area, and a lot of the Florida areas, our live music scene is pretty good here. It's pretty good. And several other areas are like that too. I know people that live in Texas, and of course in Tennessee and Nashville and that sort of thing. But I've talked to many of you that live all over the place, and live music is a good thing. It's out there for you to do it if you want it, But you do have to be persistent, guys. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for the performance and guitar shout out there. Appreciate it. Yeah, and you mentioned something very important, Dave, that you want to have a recognizable sound. You guys know I talk about this probably until I'm blue in the face about making sure that you're going after your own sound and style, not someone else's. And it's easy to get caught up into going after someone else. So you hear somebody's guitar tone or somebody's voice. I'm not the greatest singer in the world. I know that. It's something that I'm almost a little self-conscious of, to be honest with you. I've always have been. I don't have the extreme range of a lot of the singers that I really like, which most of them are from a few decades ago. I don't have that super powerful range. So what I've learned to do is just embrace my range. I can work on it, and I've increased it over the years. But and I'm not looking to sing high falsetto notes or whatever. And I can kind of get up there in my own right, but I've learned to embrace my range and just use that to my advantage. Anything that you have that you feel like is a limitation is actually something, if you turn it around in your mind, it can be used to your advantage, because it can be used as your own style, your own sound. And people will come to appreciate that. So again, it goes back to focusing on your own sound, your own style, So that's very important. That's very good point, Dave. Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, Takamine. The Takamine, it's a solid guitar. I like my Takamine. The Takamine plays good. The Takamine actually it plays better than my Martin, really, to be honest with you. But that's just because the strings, they're not high on here. And dude, I'm not about to try to do the action on. I'm not good when it comes to working on stuff, and that's not my strength. So I let the people who know what they're doing work on stuff especially when it comes to shaving off a piece on the guitar like this, So yeah. Gary Howard picked up a Martin entry-level X series and love it. Does one, yeah. They're great. I played several Martins that day. I like those mini Martins too. They got some minis in there. It's pretty cool. Pony Boy says I would solder in a small solar panel, cheap ones for small solar lights if you're playing outdoors might work good. Yeah, I don't know if anybody that's tried the solar panel thing for talking about guitars and gear working. That'd be something to do though. Eugenio, no, I'm not. We're not. Hurricanes, it's gone. It's way above me now. We just got some wind and rain. That was really about it. You're seeing the calm after the storm now, and it's back to being really hot as it usually is in this area. Gospel Mark, the strings are high on your Taylor. Got them lower, but yeah, same thing here, man. I got my strings. I got the what do you call that little the bridge shaved down, but we got to go down some more because I put lighter strings on here. I found out that I liked custom lights, which are, I believe, 11 through 52. And maybe I need to adjust the truss rod. That might be all I need to do, man. I'm not sure. I know it sounds ridiculous being a guitar player. It's been playing music since 1989, but I'm just scared to touch stuff like that, especially on an acoustic. Acoustic's a little bit more delicate than an electric guitar. I'm not so much afraid of screwing up my electric, but an acoustic, man, different story. Mark, my buddy Brian, he uses 9s as well. He uses super lights. They may be 10s, but yeah, his is 10s. So you're like ultra light there, man. So the question is, do you have a problem breaking strings with the lighter strings? I'm curious to know that. Rarely do I break a string, and I use the elixirs, the 80/20 bronze elixirs, I believe the nano webs, which I love. I rarely break strings, guys, but I don't really have a super hard attack either, so that might have a lot to do with it. Yes, FTM, remember the persistence. It only takes one yes, and a lot of it is, I'll tell you this, a lot of it is a numbers game. FTM, you may have seen my video on how to get started playing live solo gigs. If not, look that up on my channel when you get a chance. It's about a 39-minute video, but I really try to go into all the stuff you need for that, to get prepared for that. And I will say a lot of it's mental, and it is a numbers game, but you want to have the assets there too. So you want to have a web page or some videos on social media that shows your presence and your abilities and all that. Even if it's just a short video, what I recommend is doing, and you might already have this, so I don't mean to keep on it if it's something you already have, but for anybody wanting to play live music as a solo, playing solo gigs, you want to have something that's easily accessible for someone to listen to and hear. Don't give them a thumb drive, because nobody uses those. Most people aren't gonna. You've got to have like a link to send them, or a QR code that takes them to a web page where they can play your video, something on YouTube even, right? And like if you go to jasonstallworth.com/live, that's the pitch. That's what I give people if I'm going to score a new gig. I need to update those videos on there. But yeah, jasonstallworth.com/live. So just know though that you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, but make sure you have the proper assets to give people when you're going for it, and just keep going, and you'll get it. You'll definitely get it. So Photon, more acoustic solo gig vids. Yes, I'm definitely coming out with some more. I haven't been putting stuff. Wait till tomorrow. You'll see my video of the 12 gigs I played this month of August. So that's pretty interesting. So that's coming out tomorrow. I took a little footage of every gig I played this month. Roger asked me, are my team Megadeth or team Metallica? Dude, I am team no one. I like songs from both bands. I never really got caught up in the whole Metallica or Megadeth. I like both of their elements in both bands I like. Metallica was the one I heard first. So, back in 88, 89, when I started playing guitar, that was my inspiration to start playing. So, Gospel Mark says, I never break strings. Now that I've said that, I'll break. No, you're not going to break one this weekend, dude. No string breaking. The FTM just started applying. Good. Yeah, just got started applying. Okay, cool. Yeah, do that video. If you found my example, just make something like that to put up. And your husband sounds like he's a sound man and media specialist. One thing I will say is it's great that your husband's involved, and it's great that he's supportive and helping, because my wife, she's she's not really a singer, but I heard her carrying a tune one day. I'm like, okay, babe, you're singing on key, so come here, you can do this. So we learned a couple songs together. We need to learn some more together, but she sings with me on stage for a few songs here and there. It just gives it a different element, but she's ultra supportive. I mean, I don't want to sound like she's supportive of just me. We're supportive of one another, because we're a team, But it's so important, guys, to have a spouse or other half, you know, put it to you this way. If you're with someone and you're just kind of like, you know, dating someone or whatever, but they're not supportive of what you're doing, guys, do not make excuses for that person. Get the hell out because that's only going to cause problems. I've been through that before, you know, and I'm not going to go down that road, but I'm very, very blessed and very fortunate to have a wife that's ultra supportive of what I do. She's at almost every gig that I go to, you know. So I mean, I couldn't ask for any more than that. But I'm also very active at involving her. You know, like I work for myself, so you know, her and I really work together. I mean, she's involved in all the decisions just as much, right? So it's not like, you know, we don't look at it as someone's the shot caller. We talk about everything together. You know, we do that down to the gigs that we play at. When I get a new gig, you know, she'll be the first one that starts researching that gig, and she's like, this doesn't look like a place that we want to go to. It's like, okay, I'll turn it down. Or we look at a gig, it's like, okay, this is like, I've got a new gig I'm starting to play at in downtown Tampa at Small Giant. I'm very excited about that because I'm going to be like in the midst of downtown Tampa. So that's going to be September 15th. I'll be there. So I'm really excited about that, you know. But again, we talked about that before I got back to my booking guy for that gig. So you guys hear in the background, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, these weird bugs. It sounds like the apocalypse is coming. I think those are cicadas or something like that, but they're loud. It's kind of cool though, because it makes me feel like we're out in the wilderness somewhere, you know. Yeah, cicadas, yeah. It's kind of like cool background music, sort of. But yeah, Mark has a wife that rules as well, helps lug the gear. Yeah, my wife, she's helped set up and tear down and all that stuff, you know. So, Ronnie Rage, I don't know any. I can't sing, guys, so I won't be doing any singing tonight. But I mean, I could sing, but I'm resting my voice because I recorded vocals for my album. I recorded the tracks. I know I talked about this earlier on Monday at Cliff Studio, Riff with Cliff. So. And I'm recording like multiple takes, multiple tracks of metal vocals. So my voice is kind of like, it's funny when I'm playing live and singing live, I never have vocal problems. Like, okay, I'm so comfortable. I'm like, yeah, I feel good. But when it comes to putting on the headphones in a studio and recording, man, it's a little bit more difficult for me. I don't say difficult, but my voice takes a little extra push when I'm in the studio. It's like I wish I could just sing live and capture that, you know, which you can. But anyway, so and thank you all you guys for watching the videos. I appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys. There's the Time Prophet. I was waiting for you to come on back over here. Yeah, the death metal vocals. There's not a lot of death metal in this album, man. I've got 2 songs that have death metal vocals. One part's just in the bridge of the song. Of one song, and then there's another song that's primarily death metal, but all the other songs are just my regular rock, metal, whatever you want to call them, vocals. So friendly Rando, thank you for being a part of the channel. Really do appreciate that. I don't know any Neil Young, Ronnie Rage. I'm gonna jam for you in a second here though. Hey, he says wife's bought him a purple LTD. Cool, yeah. Cool stuff. So Dave, St. Pete Beach, there's a guy who's a solo drummer, singer who gigs by himself, proving you can do it. Man, you know, there's really no limitation, dude. You know what I mean? Like I said before, anytime you think you have a limitation of any type, turn it around and use it as your strength. That limitation can become your best strength, you know. Gary says, what would you recommend for good practice regimen to sharpen up your fretboard skills? Just jamming, man. Honestly, I don't really even practice anymore these days. I mean, I'll just kind of play. I improv, guys. One of my, I guess, if you want to call it a strength, so, you know, I just improv the whole time. So I'm gonna play something. I'm gonna totally make this up. Have no idea what it is, right? We'll go from like death metal into something pretty, you know. A little bit of finger picking there, but yeah, I'll just practice. I mean, sometimes I'll do something like some. I like this little exercise right here. If I were going to give you an exercise, like for electric, I would do hammer on and pull off. Okay, I'm on the E string, frets 5, 7, and 8, and just go back and forth. Pinky, third finger, pinky, third finger. Then move up to 7, 8, and 10. Pinky finger, second finger. So this way you're practicing all fingers. I just hammer on like that. If you're playing acoustic, I'll just and then just kind of, you know, go from there. So to me, there's not really, and I'm working on a lead guitar course, and I'm trying to figure out in my head how I'm going to approach some things like this. So I'm glad you asked that question about warming up. But I do recommend warming up. I absolutely, yeah. Before you play, warm up, man. I mean, even playing guitar, even if you're just a rhythm player and you're just gonna be strumming some chords, man, just go through those chords, you know. The 4 magical chords that every hit song is made with. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. And of course I transposed that like crazy because I think Steve Perry's in the key of D, not A. But just an example of how I do things my way. But yeah, just strumming chords, you know, just moving it around. For voice, for vocals, I will not play a gig without warming up my voice. And I have not warmed up my voice all day. Again, I'm taking a break because of Monday's session. But first, on the Metal Mastermind platform, you guys know metalmastermind.com. I co-own that with King Candelas. His fiance Ellie has a great vocal course on there called Metal Vocal Virtuoso, but she's got some warm-ups on there that I go through if I'm home, when I'm home before gigs. When I'm on the road to a gig, I will go to Ken Tamplin's channel, and there's 2 warm-ups. You type in Ken Tamplin warm-up, there are 2 specific warm-ups that'll pop up. One is the lip drills he does. You know, he does scales with that. He's got one where your tongue is out. It's ridiculous, but what you're doing is you're kind of getting your tongue used to being out and not back in your throat when you sing, so it just forces you to get used to that. And he's got, you know, some long tail exercises. So there's 2 videos I watch, and I'll usually just put that in like one of those videos, sometimes both of them, on the way to the gig. So any kind of movement, especially with vocals, without straining, of course. And Dave, you know, if you're still in here rocking with Dave, I'd like to know what you do as well, but you might be able to attest to this. So a lot of singing, and again, I'm not the greatest singer in the world, but what I've learned that's helped me, with the exception in the studio, when I'm singing live, I have learned to compress my vocals. So you'll never hear me like just belt out a note. And even when I get up there, when I get up into some of the higher ranges, which again, I can't go super high, but you know, I can get up there in some elements. When you hear that, it's not me shouting at you, okay? It's not me at all. It's me kind of holding back a little bit, compressing the air, and it's almost like those of you who lift weights, it's like doing a control rep. So if you're bench pressing, for example, you don't just slam the weight back down on your chest. You control it, right? You bring it down, make the muscles do the work, and you control that rep, so you're in control the entire time, so you can push. Same way with vocals is, I'm not like yelling out at you. I am compressing the voice and letting it release, have a slow release of that. So learning how to do that, my voice stopped getting, I haven't had a sore voice from playing live gigs. It's been a long time. Again, I'm not really sore right now, but singing metal in the studio with headphones on, everything's blaring, it's like, so that's a little bit different, you know what I mean? So that's like a, couple times a year type thing, but that's my 2 cents on vocals. So Gary, hopefully that helps, man. There's not really any, in my course I'll give some specific examples, but really just anything you can do to provide movement is going to work. Time Prophet wants me to make a video for your song, something theatrical. I do have some video stuff coming up for one of the songs, or hopefully 2 of them. There's a guy I'm good friends with who owns a production company, so I'm hoping to work with him. Gary asked a question and we bust out with a song. Derek says, I should know what were 2 of those 4 magic chords. Dude, all I was playing there, and you can do this with anything, man, is just an A, an E, F sharp minor, and D. The A. I always play my A. I never play that. To me, that's a country A. Playing country. Nothing wrong with that, right? But I will rarely play an A like that. I leave that B string open, especially when I'm in this particular key. Then go to an E, because now the B's open there too. So then I play my F sharp minor. I don't usually bar it because I just don't like that sound. So I'll play it like that. So I'll leave the E string open because it sort of fits anyway. I mean, you can mute it with that 3rd finger, but on the A string, the A and D strings, I'm on the 4th fret. The G string, 2nd fret. Last 2 strings open. So the last 2 strings are open with the A, the E, and the F sharp minor. And then I play a D and I leave the E string open. That's kind of like, and same thing when I'm playing C sharp minor, B minor, B or B minor for that, for that matter, A, back to A again, E down here. I love those open sounds, man. I really love them. Time Prophet plays Don't Stop Believing in the key of E. Yeah, it's just, you find what key works for you, you find what key works for you. Dave says that's how it is with wife and Deb. Deb and he are a team. I've been very bad in unsupportive relationships with a girl before I met my wife. Very destructive. Beware, my friend. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you and I have been down some of the same roads, unfortunately, man. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing worse, dude. There's nothing worse than being unhappy with someone, because you can't really. It's hard to pursue the vision that you have for your life when you have to constantly worry about someone else being mad at you or walking on eggshells or just completely trying to destroy what you're doing. So anyway, yeah, that's I'm happy for you, Rockin' Dave, that you and Deb are solid. There's nothing like it. I wouldn't trade my life for anything, man. I couldn't say that 20, 30 years ago, but here we are. Yeah, the open chords are really cool. And the funny thing is, like those chords I just played, that they say the magical 4 chords for all hit songs. When if you play that in G, you'd be doing this. G, D, E minor, C. We can go a different key if you guys want. We can play it in D. wait, sorry, D, A, B minor, G. Guys, so we've been on for about a little bit here. We're going to hang out just for a little longer. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put this in the chat here. I'm going to turn the lights on real quick here. So give me 1 second. I will be right back. There we go. Be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back. Let me finish the rest of this warm beer here. I got one more brew. We're a 2 brew night tonight. I usually don't chug IPAs, but that was a little warm, so got one more to cap off the evening with here. Yeah, I like the cicadas too. No, time profit. The lights don't really attract the moths. I mean, honestly, lights usually attract bugs, but we don't really have, I mean, it's all screened in here, so we have very little problems with the bugs in here. Again, guys, and I'm not sponsored by these guys, but this is the other West Coast IPA by Escape Brewing. I love IPAs. I thought it was just a phase, but it's definitely not. I just like IPA beers. They're refreshing. Good Florida style beer too, because it's always hot. So guys, we can hang out, I don't know, for another 15, 20, even 30 minutes if you guys want. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to jam a little bit though. You guys want to hear acoustic, or you want to hear metal, or just a little bit of both? acoustic and metal. Now, the only problem with that is I won't remember any of what I just played tomorrow. And it won't be because of the beer, because it's my last one. So it's just this stuff, I'll remember some of it. It just kind of randomly comes out, though. I talked about improvising earlier. And some people prefer to learn things note for note. And I admire that. That's great. And even their own songs. But I'm just not like that. I want, even if I play my own music or someone else's song or whatever, I kind of want a little different, a different vibe each time, just something in there different. Because I watched I don't know, how many of you watched the interview with Kirk Hammett on Rick Beato's channel? And I'm not one to sit there and watch a whole hour and 48, or listen to an hour and 48 minutes of interview, but I love Kirk Hammett. He was one of my biggest influences to pick up the guitar in 1989. So I hung around for that whole show. He talked a lot about improvisation. He's like, and I'm paraphrasing, he said something to the effect, though, that there's not too much special about playing the exact same thing. It just kind of gets robotic. It's like, okay, I play the notes, yay. When you're on stage, man, and this is why I just play a lot of solo stuff. This is why I loop the rhythms, and play solos over it. I have no idea what I'm going to play. Whatever I'm playing is just what comes up, You guys see the YouTube shorts that I put out there, me playing the telly. That's just coming out of nowhere, man, And I love that, though, because the way I see music, and when you're playing music, especially live, is that is a moment in time that you will never capture again. Yeah, you can learn the notes and play the notes or whatever, but that very specific moment in time, the little nuances that come out, everything involved, you will never be able to replicate exactly that again, and that's a special thing to me. So I want every moment to be like that, and I think music kind of has to come from the soul, from the heart and soul, so to speak. Not to sound cliche, but music very much is an emotion. You know what I mean? It's very much an emotion. So I kind of want to live that when I'm playing live, especially. That's why it's sometimes hard for me to record music. I love recording too. I love being in the studio. I absolutely love it. But when I was writing the solos for this album, it sometimes it's like, okay, why am I recording 100 takes here? When I get on stage and play a solo, I just whip it out and this is what comes out. And I'll go back and listen, and yeah, there might be things I would polish up later, but that I'd want to polish up later. But I'm like, yeah, that was in the moment. So I'm trying to change my mindset in the studio to act like I'm playing live. Yeah, Kirk was a big inspiration, Friendly Rando. It was very much an inspiration of mine. Him and Joe Satriani, two huge inspirations. Time Prophet, what looper do you have, man? And HM from Cape Coral, I hope you're okay from the hurricane, Cape Coral down there. I think you guys are okay. I'm up in the Tampa Bay area, Seffner to be exact, and we just got rain and wind. So HM, I hope you guys are okay. Time Prophet, I can't remember what looper you have though, man. Because I know, man, I have the Ditto X4. I had the regular Ditto, and I think it just comes with time though too. And sometimes I get the loop off. Sometimes I'll be recording a loop, and I'll click it here, and sometimes I'll click it right at the wrong moment, and it's like, and I can tell when it loops back, I'm like, crap, I gotta do that again. Or, Time Prophet, this may help you. Even better, if I slightly mess up on the loop, when I start playing the lead, I'll make sure to accentuate my lead notes when the loop starts over, so it'll cover up that screw up. That's a little tip. I need to make a video on that tip. When you screw up the loop, do this instead of killing the loop. Man, that's gonna be a video. Oh, dude. Yeah, Hayes, the studio, and the studio is money. I'm fortunate to have a good friend of mine that let me use his studio. So. It wasn't really so much about needing to use a studio as much as it was about, because I could have did it in my studio. I just needed someone to engineer the process, so I didn't have to go back and forth from singing vocals and then going back to the DAW and hitting stop and record and stop and record and blah blah blah. So he had the sessions ready for me, and I like I say, man, I just had to sing. That's all I had to do, and it was such a beautiful thing. It's so much easier. So pod, you've got the Time Prof. That's right. You got it's the looper pedal you add in the Podgo. Yeah, I don't care for the Podgo looper, man. Just because it takes too many clicks to go to that, you know. The great John Kennan has arrived again. Yeah, John, you're with me on putting our own flavor on the songs. I don't know that I ever played a song the same way twice. Yeah, I remember you being like that, man. I remember, dude, you played this John, you played this very beautiful song called Wrap Me in Your Arms. It's a Christian song. We played it. I don't know if it was a camp we were at or some kind of retreat or whatever, but you were still singing anyway. You had a cold and you're just plowing through it, but it sounded really cool. I remember you playing that on acoustic though, not on bass, because John plays guitar as well. But I don't know. I remember that moment for some reason just now. It was a really cool moment, man. Really powerful. But you probably remember what I'm talking about too. But yeah, putting your own flavor on the tunes. I mean, I don't know. I don't see anything super special about learning a song note for note, because first of all, it's not your song, it's someone else's, you know. And think about writing music, guys. When you write something, I might write something and you might play it and it's like, oh, it's a little weird or complicated or whatever. It just doesn't sound or feel right when I play it. But that's because I wrote it. You may write something and then I try to learn a note for note. It's like, oh, this is a little strange to play to me, you know, because it's not mine, you know. So I'd much rather someone see, like when my new album comes out, I'm going to encourage people, hey, do a cover of a song. Heck, do it on acoustic. I don't care. But you don't need to learn it note for note. Play your rendition of it. I'm all for that, man. All for that. Yeah, I get the goosebumps too, man, when I hear something cool. I tell you, I'll give you guys a little inside scoop. There are songs that, especially of course the ones that I write, you know, I've been playing a few originals more in my gigs, and there's some songs, and it's not so much you're thinking about a sad moment, but the song kind of makes you choke up a little, and if you do that, it's hard to sing. So that's another art to, you know, being so into your song, but not allowing yourself to choke up in the middle of the song. So, because yeah, again, music's emotional, guys. Music can make you feel just so powerful inside and so good inside. So. And sometimes those choke up moments are tears of joy. Like I said, it doesn't mean it's like a sad moment, you know, but it's just like, man, I'm here doing this. So Time Prophet has found that you use snapshots. You can turn the distortion off for the rhythm. Okay. Yeah, and that's Time Prophet. I mean, you already know this, dude. That's why I just use a separate looper from the Podgo, because it allows me just to kind of cut in and out as I need to. Man, it does look pretty cool out here. It looks like I'm somewhere else, but I'm just right here on the patio. I want to say a quick thank you though, guys. Again, the channel reached 75,000 subscribers earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, and I just want to say thank you for that. The Metal Mastermind channel that I co-own with Ken Cadellis, that channel just hit 10,000 subs. So we're actually doing a giveaway on that. I've got a video coming out tomorrow on I've got 2 videos coming out tomorrow, guys. One's coming out on my channel here. That's going to be my 12 gigs that I played for the month. Not, you know, a buttload of gigs, but decent amount. Just kind of share the life with you guys. And then on Metal Mastermind, I've got a video coming out on how to turn 1 riff into 7 riffs. So that's going to be an interesting video. But we're going to be doing a giveaway. I'm just going to record some tracks and give it away to people that want to mix it and replicate it or whatever. I'm going to probably do that next week for Metal Mastermind. So yeah, Hayes says playing robotic. Then when you thought how to do your own sound, it changed the way you play. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just such a big believer, man, on just doing your own thing, man. Because, you know, I think one of the worst things you can do is sound like someone else or try to sound like someone else. Like, it's already been done. And the reason why that's not the greatest thing is because every one of you watching this right now, you have your own talent within you. Even if you're playing in a cover band, you know, that's one thing, right? That's your job to sound like the band. But you've got your own unique thing about you. So why not, you know, why not put that out there? The Worm Audio Assassin, high and dry. We're good in Lee County, dude. We're good in Hillsborough County. Thanks for asking, man. Yeah. Some of you guys know we had we had a storm, well, not storm, but a hurricane come through here. This is the problem with being a native Floridian. I grew up in Pensacola, Florida, what they call the Panhandle of Florida. Moved in Tampa 2000, but I'm a native Floridian, so I've always been around hurricanes. It's just kind of a way of life, you know. And I guess that we've never been hit to the point where it was like detrimental. I know some have, and of course that would probably change my perspective greatly. But we're kind of far off the coastline here. Like if we were lived on the coast, like we had a beach house or something, which we don't. I think I'd rather have a mountain house than a beach house, you know, or a lake house or something. But you know, we just always have been, I guess, blessed in that regard. So. The Worm Audio Assassin says, enjoy the show with Brad Mater. Thanks. Hey, we got a kitty cat. Is that Big Kitty? Yep, this Big Kitty. He just walked by. And that's our inside cat. Hey, babe. What are you doing? You guys can't see him now. His name is Big Kitty because he's just a big kitty cat, man. And we just started calling him that. And we were going to name him something else. But he's just Big Kitty. It just suits him, so. But yeah, dude, thank you for watching the Brad Mater show. You're from New York as well. Been part of the music scene. That's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear that. I don't know how far Lee County is. I'll have to look that up. But if you're in the music scene, the Florida music scene, man, we might see about getting you on the Drinking with Drew show. You saw us on that as well, I'm sure. Drew's such a cool dude. He's I'm gonna be back on the show. I had a chance to go over there with Must Not Kill last week, but I was just so busy trying to get this album thing wrapped up, man. Yeah, you guys got rammed last year in Fort Myers, man, and I hope most folks are recovering from that, man. So Friendly Rando, you guys are getting it up there in North Carolina now, man. Yeah, this thing, they thought it was gonna be like a Category 1. I think it turned into a 3 or 4 or something like that. Speaking of North Carolina, man, we you know, my wife and I and a good friend of ours have visited Asheville, the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains in the Asheville area for the past 2 years in a row. We love it up there, dude. The place is just amazing up there. I love the mountains. Love being up there. Yeah, the prep always sucks. Oh, Worm Audio's heading up to Brad's gig with Satan and Venom. Oh man, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I know they're out playing right now. I'm gonna have Brad back on, so I'll tell you this. I don't think he'll mind me telling you this, but he also works with Dean Guitars, and after they saw him on my channel, because he played his signature guitar from another company, the Dean guys were giving him some crap, you know, in a joking way. It's like, hey, why didn't you play a Dean guitar? So I'm gonna have him back on when he gets back. I'm gonna have him back on the channel here. And, of course, he'll have a Dean guitar at that time. Oh, man. Time Prophet, I don't know who Laurel and Hardy are, dude, but, yeah, I've only been to the Blue Ridge Mountains in the Georgia and Carolinas area, maybe just the Carolinas area. Can't remember if it stretches to Georgia or not. Yeah, the mountains are just so cool. I don't know, there's something, you know, with the first year we went, the year before last, we hiked several places, and the very last place, on the very last day, we were driving back, and we came across this place, but we were ready to go back to the hotel at that point because we're getting ready to leave. Came across this place called the Devil's Courthouse. It's like, you know what? We're gonna come back next year. We're gonna hike this, and I get chill bumps thinking about it because we said that, and we did. We came back same time the next year, which was last year. Booked the same hotel. We got the exact same hotel room, which is just, I love to look for these little signs like this. Like, okay, this is, and we ended up hiking the Devil's Courthouse, and it was just a really cool place. So, actually, if you guys, those of you, I don't pressure people to do this, those of you who would like to follow more of my personal life, my wife and I, our travels and adventures and that sort of thing. I say personal life, but just our travels, and we are building our channel. It's just called Candy and Jason. If you go to YouTube and type in Candy and Jason, you'll see us pop up. You'll see us together there. So if you guys want to keep up with that sort of thing, I don't pressure anybody to follow that because I know this is a music channel. But if you guys want to follow that sort of thing and want the insight there, then hey, check it out. We have some pretty cool adventures. We just filmed our 15-year anniversary about 2 weeks ago, and we're getting ready to film some stuff here. And of course, we'll be overseas in Thailand in November, so I'll be filming a lot for this channel, for my channel, some guitar stores in Thailand, and of course, we'll be filming a lot for our channel as well there too. So. Eugenio says, in order to try to mimic George Lynch, I was able to do great my own style with a touch of Lynch. And that, Eugenio, that's what it's all about, man. You take the styles that you've been inspired by, and they kind of become your own. They kind of become a combination. And even the people that you love and follow, well, their styles are a combination of what they listen to as well. So, Vase, hi from Thailand. Sawadee Cup, Nakap. Good to see you. Sabadi Mai Cup. We have Thai on here. Vase, we'll be on. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but we will be in Thailand in November. So we plan to, of course, we'll be flying into Bangkok. We go from here to Germany. We'll be spending a day in Munich, by the way, on November 8th. So if anybody's in Munich, let me know. I was going to try to do a subscriber meetup there. Just for the 10 hours we'll be there. But we'll be in Bangkok like that second week of November. Then we're going to spend some time in Chiang Mai and the Nakhon Ratchasima, Pakchong Karat area. And then we'll be back in Bangkok. We'll be gone pretty much most of the month of November. So I think we fly back on the 28th of November. So we're sitting there planning our trip, and it's like, man, I wish we had bought the flight for more time now. But we'll be back. We plan to go to Thailand at least once a year, if not more. There may be some other future plans that I'll talk about later with Thailand too. So anyway, thanks for coming on. I know in Thailand it's you guys are 12 hours, so it's almost 8:30 in the morning over there. It's cool. Thank you, Rockin' Dave. Yeah. Voodoo Chili, no hangover vibes. This is beer number 2, dude. I can't tell you the last time I actually had a hangover. And I love my beers. There are times where I drink probably 1 or 2 beers more than I should. Sometimes 3 more than I should. But hangover, I'm always able to get up and go to the gym the next day in the morning. So I make sure that, I'm able to do that. HM, yeah, if you just look up Candy and Jason on YouTube, we'll pop up. Just type in Candy and Jason. We start popping up now. Vay says Chiang Mai is amazing. If you love mountains, you'll love it. Yeah, we've been to Chiang Mai before, but we didn't go to the mountain areas. We spent time. We stayed in a hotel by the Bazaar Night Market, which was really cool. Such a cool place. And then we took a day trip to Chiang Rai. Went to Wat Rang Kung, the Great White Temple. We went up there. And that was a really cool experience. But so your girlfriend is in Karat. That's your girlfriend's home city. I'm sorry, your girlfriend's home city. Man, that's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that. Well, if I don't know what part of Thailand you guys are in now, but I mean, if it's possible to do a meetup or something like that, let's try to. If you go to my website, jasonstalworth.com, you can find my contact info in there, and feel free to shoot me an email, and we can set up a time for a meetup. I'd like to have a subscriber meetup in Thailand. I know I've got a few Thai folks in Thailand over there. So, Vodum Chili, sorry, you're thinking about the movie The Hangover. I get it. Sorry, I get it now. Yeah, Bangkok. Yeah, we'll be in Bangkok for a little bit. Bangkok is we've been there before, obviously, but Bangkok is I think it's like 33 miles of city. So huge. But it's just, the thing about Thailand is, and we follow a lot of expats that live there too, and we know a lot of people that live there. It's just a cool place. Rockin' Dave, thank you for hanging out, man. Thank you so much, dude. I've had a good time tonight, man. Gruntep Mahanapan, yeah. Actually, Time Prophet, the actual name of Bangkok is super, super long. Like if you were, Gruntep is Bangkok, right? But Gruntep Mahanakan. Nakhon in Thai, and base, correct me if I'm wrong, but Nakhon in Thai really means kind of like the province, the area. Like I mentioned, Nakhon Ratchasima, which is, I believe that's like Karat, Pakchon, and Khao Yai. which we spent some time in all of those areas last time we were there. Beautiful, just man. Callii is beautiful. Went to this place called the Chocolate Factory in Callii. Oh my God, it was so cool. But yeah, Vay says, yeah, Bangkok twice the size of New York. Yeah, Bangkok is huge, man. And there's, Bangkok is, I mean, I don't know what the stats are. Probably the safest huge city that in the world, or one of them anyway. I'll tell you what, it's much safer than any major American city, I can tell you that. Vay says, Gunung yeah, Gunung is always the Thai, what Thai people call it, you know. Yeah, the real is Gunung is super, super long. I was, Vase, I speak a little Thai. I'm probably like beginner intermediate at best. I read and write just a little, and I need to get back that. Yeah, I've studied the language, the culture. I've studied Buddhism quite a bit over the years, and I have a lot of respect for the Thai, the religion, the culture, everything, just the people. It's just a beautiful place, just a beautiful culture, beautiful people, and everything. So I have nothing but great things to say. So we're like super excited to go. We fly out. I think it's November, the second week in November we fly out. So we're really, really ready to get over there. The Worm Audio Assassin. Yeah, man. I don't know how far Lee County is. The Worm Audio. I'm not sure. I think that's north of us, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, dude. I'm a native Floridian. I should know this stuff. Man, that is one good IPA, guys. I love my IPAs. Good stuff. Okay, so you're south. Oh, south. So Lee County south of Clearwater. Okay. That's cool, man. So not too far away. And I have, well, this is probably more towards the coast. I play in Bradenton sometimes at Fear Early Winery, but it's on the other side of I-75. It's a little east of 75 there, so not really on the coast. So Lee County, you're probably towards, I guess that's past Sarasota, I believe, like right past Sarasota, if I'm not mistaken. I loved having Brad on, man. He's an amazing guitar, just a cool guy. Just had a really cool time with him over. We stayed up late that night. Just he, myself, and my wife just chatting till like 1 o'clock in the morning almost. We had a great time. So I can't wait to have him back on the channel. Bass, thank you so much. Kokung Kap, Jagawana Kap, Popkamai Kap. Hope to see you soon. If you have, thank you for being a part of Metal Mastermind as well. If you go to jasonstarworth.com, send me an email. I'd love to have some meetups in Thailand. So I'll be reaching out to my Thai audience before we get there. All right, Eugenio wants another improv metal song. I gotta hurry up though, guys. My battery only has 20%. Man, I used my entire battery while we were filming this. I think I've got to upgrade the iPhone. You ready for some metal? This is an intro to metal. It's coming, don't worry. right, guys. Man, I broke a little sweat playing that. Once again, all made from scratch. I have no idea what that was, but I had fun playing it for you guys. Ronnie Makey. What's up, dude? Thank you for the guitar apprentice course. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for getting that course, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, metal, if you're just starting out, or you need to revisit the basics of metal guitar, a metal guitar apprentice, if you go to metalmastermind.com, you'll see all my guitar courses there. But Metal Guitar Apprentice is the one I kind of made just going over the fundamentals. So if you guys ever have any questions about my courses, please let me know. If there's something I can do better, please let me know. I will do that. But that course, I get a lot of good feedback from that, so it makes me really grateful that people are learning from that. So thank you, Ronnie. Thank you for bringing that up. Pedal Playhouse, yeah, dude. A lot of folks in Florida in here, man. We had a lot of Florida people, so I guess YouTube must be figuring out that, hey, this guy lives in Florida, which is cool to see, man. You know, we've had folks from all over the world here. Time Prophet. I have heard of Avatar, but I can't recall any songs. But I know I've heard them before. Swedish man. Worm Assassin, got to get the little guy ready for bed. Worm Audio, dude, thank you so much for joining, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. We'll definitely chat some more. Zooman, my favorite Thai dish. You know, I honestly don't have a favorite. I really don't. There's not really many Thai dishes I don't like. I'm not a big fish fan, so anything with fish in it, I'm not really, like, you know, gonna care for that unless it's like shrimp, gung. But yeah, most Thai dishes. I mean, I know people say pad Thai is like a typical Thai dish, but I like it, you know. But I like you know, pretty much like my wife. She cooks gang, which is curry in Thai. Gang kiao, green curry, gang dang, the red curry. Gang luang, the yellow curry. So we cook. I love curry, any kind of curry. We're going to eat some Indian food tomorrow, by the way. Speaking of curry, I love curry just in general. So, Jasper Mark says Kimao. Fatima Barangap. Oh man, yeah, no seafood, man. No seafood for me. I mean, I'll eat the fish. I'm not like anti-fish. I just don't. It's not like, oh man, I can't wait to eat a fish or steak. Well, I must use a steak, you know. Yeah, I guess everybody's taking Hurricane Day off. So Zooman's in Florida too. Awesome. Pedal Playhouse in Miami. I guess you guys in Miami were okay. I think the storm was completely, you know, on the other side of the coast there. Gospel Mark loves some Thai food. Yeah, Thai food is good, man. When I was in Thailand last time, and unfortunately it's been quite some time. It was back in 2015, but I never once got tired of it. And of course, my wife cooks Thai food. Her mom, you know, she's full Thai. Her mom cooks Thai food, so. But yeah, we're going. I love all kind of curries, man. If it's curry and it's spicy, I'm gonna tear it up. That's just what I like. So. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. I know we've been on here for quite some time. My phone's going to die soon anyway, my battery here. So I just want to say thank you so much. For my Thai friends, thank you so much. See you soon. See you again. And really appreciate you guys just being a part of the channel. Mark Frodo's doing great. Yeah, he's inside with his mom now. So he's in there hanging out. As long as one of us is in there for him to sit with, it's a good thing, you know. Oh, yeah, Mama says he's sleeping on the couch. Yeah, guys, so we really, again, really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, guys. And my wife and I, we're going to try to get a video out soon. I've just been so busy with recording this album, so we plan to get a video out on our channel soon, Candy and Jason, if you guys are interested in following that channel. Guys, good night. Thank you so much. Guys, keep it metal. Keep playing music. I want you guys to stay encouraged. Okay? Be encouraged in everything you do. And I'll see you guys again soon.